everyone. My name is Chandrima Attri and I secured rank 72 in Civil Services Examination 2019. First of all, a little bit about myself. I was born in Panipat, Haryana. I did my schooling from Bal Vikas School, Panipat itself, till 12th standard. After that, I moved to Delhi and I did my graduation in BSc Physical Sciences from St. Stephen's College, University of Delhi. Post that, I did my law from Faculty of Law, University of Delhi enrolled in 2015 and graduated in 2018. I was simultaneously preparing for Civil Services Examination, gave my first attempt in 2016 and I reached till mains but could not clear mains. Then in my next two attempts, that is 2017 and 2018, I could not clear pre itself. And this was my fourth attempt. I gave 1 year solely to UPSC preparation after I graduated with law in 2018. So complete focus and dedication towards one goal proved a game changer for me and I could secure a good rank this time. First of all, as prelims is around the corner, I would like to focus first on prelims strategy. For prelims, first and foremost, one must complete the entire syllabus from the demarcated sources, whatever they are. Every topper talks about the sources, so the basic book list will remain the same. You have to start with the NCERTs, then move to the standard textbooks, and you can get these the source lists from any source online. So that is not an issue. But the most important factor is practice. So how many tests you take before the prelims exam, that actually will make or break for you. So practice as many mock tests as possible. I did a lot of tests. 1 month before my prelims, I solved 2 GS pre-tests every day and I revised them and I comprehensively covered current affairs also from 1-2 magazines of coaching institutes, supplemented with newspapers from which I made notes throughout the year before. So a comprehensive preparation for pre is a must because there's an element of uncertainty in prelims also. So you must secure yourself against failing at pre, and for that you need to cover the basic sources, practice a lot, and then don't leave anything to chance. See the past year papers from 2008 to 2018. Solve those past year papers. From that you will get an idea how questions are being asked, how statements are being given, and also analyze your performance in the sense that what is causing your negative marking. Whether you are making wild guesses or whether you lack information or whether you are getting confused while solving the paper. So analyze your mistakes and improve on that. So that is the strategy for prelims. Now moving on to mains. So mains is a big deal because your rank depends on mains performance. If you are prepared with mains before prelims, then it's good. But after prelims, because you get very less time to prepare for mains. So for me, what worked was, I was preparing my optional beginning from October 2018 and my attempt was in June 2019. So till February 2019, I had completed most of my syllabus for optional. So after prelims, when I cleared prelims, I didn't have to worry a lot about my optional preparation because I had already covered most of the syllabus. I just needed to upgrade on international relations because my optional was political science and international relations. So that worked for me. Now for GS part, GS has 4 papers, GS 1, 2, 3, 4. GS, most of the coverage of the syllabus will happen before pre only because prelims deals with history, with geography, with environment, with disaster management also, with current affairs also, with polity. So all of those areas will be covered while reading for prelims. So don't separate prelims from mains. Your GS mains preparation will mostly be done with your prelims GS preparation. For other ancillary topics, because mains ka syllabus is properly demarcated, you don't have to guess mains ka syllabus. Everything is mentioned in the syllabus given by the UPSC. So paste those syllabus papers on your wall when you're preparing. I did it. I pasted the syllabus of mains for every subject on my wall till I was preparing. And in that syllabus, you see the keywords. So suppose if the keyword is agriculture, if the keyword is minimum support price, or if the keyword is good governance, then you need to prepare short notes on these topics, which you don't find in your basic GS books which you read for prelims. So for these small topics, you need to do some internet research. You need to refer to other sources such as second ARC or some good coaching institutes material if you find them, or you can just Google them. So this is the best way to prepare for topics which are not mentioned in any GS book. I did follow certain websites, online websites, where these topics were given, and I made my own short notes, but I made them very, very crisp. So for instance, solid waste management is a hot topic because it was in news. So I maintained a diary for my GS mains topics, and in that diary, I kept one page only for one topic. So if it's solid waste management, then all the information with respect to that topic will be jotted down in that one small page, and any question comes on solid waste management, then I'll be able to answer that question based on that information. So that made my GS preparation consolidated, and I could revise and I could go back to that diary for my GS answers. Also for GS, practice forms a very important part again. Answer writing is the soul of the main examination, and if you've read a lot and you've not practiced answer writing, then your entire reading goes to waste, because how you write answers, how you present that knowledge in an answer will make all the difference. So for answer writing, again, I joined a test series so that I become regular with my tests. I used to go on the specified date for writing that test, and after getting the checked answer copy, I used to see in which question I'm getting good marks and in which question I'm getting less marks. And then based on that evaluation, I used to tweak my writing style. For instance, if some question is asked, sometimes you have to write more than what is being asked, because they are expecting you to see every aspect of that issue, not just what is being asked. So I went a little extra in that, and I used to mention all the aspects of the issue, whether it's being asked or not. So that made my answer very, very holistic. Other thing is to, to make your answer more beautiful and presentable by using flowcharts and diagrams. Diagrams are very easy to make. You don't have to think beforehand before making a diagram. You can just, if there is any process to be explained, or if there's, for instance, in the NPA's question, there was this thing called 3 R's of NPAs, which is resolution, rehabilitation, and recapitalization. So you can just make a triangle, and inside you can write 3 R's, and you can write recapitalization, resolution, recognition, whatever. So that makes your answer very presentable and very good to read and very easy to read. So that was one trick that I applied. And I used to mix both types of writing style in paras also and in pointers also. That doesn't make a much difference until unless you're covering all the aspects of the question. So that is up to you in which you feel comfortable and which is your own style of writing. But again, what works and what doesn't work can be found out only by practice. So give as many tests, write one question every day from prelims to mains, get a register and try to write on your own and get it checked by your mentors or by your friends, or even you can go through it on your own also. So that is for GS answer writing and GS preparation. Now moving on to essay and ethics. For essay, I did not read a lot because GS already provides you information, but I again did a lot of practice. I joined a test series for essay, and I used to write tests of essay almost every week. So that made me comfortable with essay writing, and it also gave me a feedback and review to improve myself. So that was not a very big problem. So essay was just writing practice. Now ethics. In ethics, you can either go very wrong or you can go very right, because ethics is such a paper. If you have prepared very well and if you have grasped the demand of the paper, then you can score very high in ethics paper. Though the marks are still not out, but I prepared extensively for ethics paper. I made my own short notes wherein I jotted down the definitions of every key term that was mentioned in the syllabus. For instance, for emotional intelligence, or for accountability, or for citizen charter, or for good governance. And I also prepared good quotes by certain thinkers such as Aristotle, Plato, and on justice such as John Rawls. Here my optional political science and international relations helped a lot, because many of the thinkers that we study in political science, we can directly quote them in the ethics paper. Then after preparing this much, after making my own notes, after reading the basic theory part, there's the case study part. So for case study, practice is most important. You need to solve some case studies, you need to be holistic in your approach. For this, again, test series helped me a lot. I wrote a lot of tests for ethics. So I continuously improved myself while reaching the time of main examination. So continuous improvement and continuous answer writing practice was the key to my good main performance. Apart from that, I think reading certain coaching materials can fill the gaps where you don't have enough information. So that is up to you. If you feel that you have certain gaps, you can read selective portions from various sources, but that depends on your own preparation level. Now, other thing about main examination is sometimes you need to have a basic pile of information which you can use in any paper, in GS paper, in essay paper. So that is something that you have to additionally store at one point, one area. For instance, various committee reports, various committees that are formed by the government, panels that are formed by the government, and also various Supreme Court cases and judgments which are pronounced every year. So you have to take note of those things, and also updated data. For instance, the urbanized population in our country, the literacy rate, the sex ratio rate. So all these data and facts you have to store at one point, because then you can add these and sprinkle these in your answers wherever you feel that they will make your answer more marks fetching. So that you have to smartly do. And that is not very difficult, because many coaching institutes provide you with those small key terms and keywords that you can use in your answers directly. Other thing is government schemes. You have to have the knowledge of the government schemes that are in news, their objectives, their provisions, what is the problem that they are facing in implementation, what are the suggestions. If certain scheme is being in news for any controversy or any lack of implementation, you have to have the suggestions in place, so that you can use those suggestions in your conclusion. While you're concluding the answer, then you can give those forward-looking suggestions in the last part of the answer. So for me, for mains, GS and essay, this was the strategy. And otherwise, I think my basic style of writing was introduction. I used to begin on a positive note. I used to give a fact or an impactful keyword that used to form an opinion or impression on the examiner, so that they get to know that I understand the demand of the question. Then moving to the body, I used to analyze the entire issue. I used to go for pointer form or paragraph form depending on the question. And then I used to move to the conclusion part, which was my forward-looking constructive suggestion. And I used to use quotes also in the answers if they were related to the society part, if they are related to the, say, women empowerment part. So you can use quotes by thinkers and by philosophers like Simone de Beauvoir, who used to say, one is not born a woman but becomes a woman. So these types of things that you keep on reading, you can add to your answers to make them more separate, more distinct from the other candidates that are writing the main exam. And in the body part of the answer, I used to include diagrams, flowcharts, pictures, whatever it was easy for me to make at that time, I used to draw that so that it enhances my overall answer. So this was my preparation for the GS part and for the essay part in the main examination. And then moving on to the interview part. For interview, again, your DAF, which is your detailed application form, is very, very important. In that, whatever information you have included, you have to search on that particular information very extensively, starting from your childhood, your schooling, your education, your entire graduation subject, your hobbies, your leadership qualities, leadership work that you have done, your work experience if there is any. So all those things you have to research, but ultimately it all boils down to that particular day and how you presented yourself on that particular day. So don't give too many mocks, I will say. Just restrict your number of mocks that you give and do more preparation and self-analysis and understand your own strengths and weaknesses, and then the utmost thing is to be calm and to be presentable in front of the board and be polite, be respectful, and at the same time show them your best self, in the sense how you can be a good leader, how you are compassionate towards the backward sections of the society, how you have sensitivity. So all those things will be more important than just your mugging up information or doing many mocks and not doing the self-evaluation and self-improvement. So don't take interview in a very serious way, but at the same time, don't completely do away with your own self-analysis and self-evaluation. So that is the key for interview. Apart from this, other thing was, because this was my 4th attempt, so I had to be constantly motivated and I had to constantly push myself every day to prepare more and prepare in a better way. For that, I included certain good habits in my life in the last 1 or 2 years, which you could also make good use of. First and foremost was I started practicing Surya Namaskars, which helped me to keep myself energetic. It helped me to start my day with full energy so that I could achieve my daily targets. And I had been a continuous practitioner of Surya Namaskars till date. The other thing was that I used to do journal writing. So journal writing is a way of expressing your thoughts on a page. So if you do journal writing, you can actually become more clearer in terms of your understanding, and you can be more focused in terms of achieving your goal. So journal writing was another way of expressing my thoughts and becoming more clear about my goals. The other thing was meditation. Now meditation is something which sometimes people find it very boring, that it is not something which is everyone's cup of tea. But if you are at any stage where you feel overwhelmed, or if you don't feel very calm and composed, then meditation is a very good practice which keeps you calm, it keeps you centered, and it develops your focus in the long run. So if you practice meditation for a month, you will definitely see the difference in you. So if any of you has faced failure before in any number of attempts, and if you're feeling that you cannot do it, then it's very wrong. You can do it. You just need to develop certain good habits, find the motivation within you, and if the why is strong for you, then I think that definitely you will try once again and you will make it. So keep your why very clear, very honest, and very in front of yourself while you are preparing, and then develop yourself, develop your personality, improve upon your strengths, and ultimately I think that you will be able to clear the exam, as I have become an example for myself also, that one can easily make it if one continuously improves themselves and doesn't give up on their dreams. So that would be my message to all the people who have faced failure or who are preparing for the next attempt now. So all the very best, and for the optional, I would do another video for my optional preparation. Thank you.